One question I'm often asked is how much of myself do I put into my script or manuscript, whether it's for a book, speech, or screenplay, or other, or course, or even something else. And of course, there's no one size fits all for how much of yourself belongs in that body of work. But there are some criteria for coming up with and thinking through what you want to share about yourself. So first of all, the first key thing is relevance. What is relevant to this piece of work and to this audience that you're serving? Now, if it's a fiction screenplay, I would argue that we as screenwriters put ourselves in all of our characters and all of our plots. We embody those people. We take the pieces of those characters that apply. Now, in a business book, what can be relevant is your personal journey with the subject material, with the subject matter. What can be relevant is the mistakes you've made and the lessons you've learned from them. What can be relevant is your expertise and use cases with clients. So a lot of things can be relevant there. Maybe also a personal story about why the subject matter is so important to you, why the subject matter is your passion. So those are some examples of how you can think through how much of your story is relevant. Same thing in a speech. People want to know who you are as the speaker. Doesn't mean you have to tell your entire life story, everything good that happened to you or everything bad that happened to you, all of your achievements or all of your flaws, but some moments of poignance and allowing people in to your world and who you are, what you want, what you've done, what you've learned, can be really valuable and really connective. Another thing in addition to relevance is distinction. What stories or aspects of your story are distinct from other examples you can give, other narrative that's out there? Maybe you have a special story about something that no one else can tell, or just no one else can tell the way that you can. Stories that people resonate with, stories that you end up telling at cocktail parties or dinner parties, and people are always laughing, or you love to tell a story. If there's a certain story about yourself that you love, and it also fits the relevance criteria, that is a good way to judge what can go into your script or manuscript. But again, there's no one size fits all. And if you're not sure, a good thing to do is ask a trusted advisor or a trusted colleague, and even maybe ask a team. In film school, we always used a group of 8. 8 was a great number to vet material and vet ideas and see who resonated with things, who didn't. And you can kind of tell just using plain old, good old fashioned stats. Are half of the audience resonating with this? Are the other half not? Is it more than half? Is it less than half? Those are some guidelines that can help you work through that decision. And if all else fails, ask your editor. Work with a developmental editor. Ask a co-writer to trade work and experience with you. And ask people to explain why they think they want more, why maybe they want less, why they feel it's relevant, why they feel it's not relevant. I see the spectrum with clients. I see some clients who don't talk about themselves at all, and then I have to say, I want to see you in this story. Like, where are you in this story? Like, what is your big lesson or a big moment that tells me I want to read the rest of this book with you or the rest of this story with you? On the other hand, I sometimes have writers who write fully from only their perspective, and then we review the material and I give suggestions on where that material could be enhanced by third-party stories or perhaps interviews that may say the same thing. But again, the criteria for doing that is relevance and distinction. And also I pick up on the passion in which they are relaying the stories. So if it's something that's really fun and funny and moves along, obviously that's a keeper. And sometimes you just won't know that until you write your first draft, until you draft it out. So don't be afraid of that draft. Just keep going, do your thing, and know there's not one size fits all. And sometimes the only way to measure how much of yourself belongs in a given story is to write it one way and measure from there. Best wishes with your writing. Make it the absolute best it can be.